Welcome to Drill Down Earnings. We have quarterly results out from Palantir. I'm Cory Johnson, Chief Market Strategist for Epistrophy Capital Research. We look at the 50 most important companies in technology, and this is the company that has done better in the S&P 500 than any company in the last year or so. Palantir selling AI, selling it profitably, and selling just really a lot, growing really fast here. Let's look at these Q2 earnings. So over $1 billion in revenue for one quarter for the first time ever for this company, $1.006 billion in revenue. Profits really profitable, $328 million, $129 million in profits in the quarter. And this is a company that not too long ago was losing money. So it was better than Wall Street expected here. They don't give us a ton of detail about who their customers are. We know there's government and commercial, and a lot of it's military, but government and commercial. They give us U.S. government, and then we can figure out what the rest of the government is outside of the U.S. Same with commercial. So the growth rate, first of all, just across all of their business units is accelerating. As this business gets bigger and more profitable, it's growing faster and faster. It's really something to see here at 48% growth on a year-over-year basis. As I mentioned, it's also getting more and more profitable over time. They had a weird quarter in the fourth quarter of last year where they took a giant, what's called a SAR, or a stock appreciation right charge. So they give employees, rather than just giving them stock options, they give them the stock appreciation option. So they don't actually have to go in and buy the option, they just get the stock appreciation when they exercise. The company took a huge charge for that in the fourth quarter, so the numbers look a little weird going back a few quarters. But generally, you can see the trend, operating profits improving now to 27%. Now, as I mentioned, the business is U.S. government, non-U.S. government, U.S. commercial, non-U.S. commercial. U.S. government still the biggest part of their business and growing really fast, growing at an increasing rate. So the U.S. government is spending a ton of money on AI with Palantir. It was over $400 million in a quarter. It was a 53% growth rate on a year-over-year basis. And this is selling things like background check AI software, or software that can do background checks to the State Department. So the State Department can decide who they're going to hire much more quickly to make government work faster and hopefully better. It's not just all military stuff, despite the jingoistic conversations coming from CEO Alex Karp. And I think maybe the most important number here, now, as I mentioned, it was only 31% of revenues only, but 31% of revenues was U.S. commercial businesses in the U.S. using Palantir. That business is growing at 92%. This is really impressive from a business that was mostly government software a few years back, is now at 92% growth rate, $300 million in a quarter, selling into U.S. businesses, growing like crazy for, like I said, this very jingoistic company. So when the stock, when the numbers came out and the conference call rolled out over time, it took a while to start this conference call, strangely. Stock was about 4% in after-hours trading, but that's after increasing 542% in 1 year. Such a big company, and again, to see 542% growth and still growing in the market and after-hour trading. CEO Alex Karp, as I mentioned, is kind of one of one in the world of Silicon Valley CEOs, or CEOs anywhere. Companies actually, their headquarters officially are in Denver. But Alex Karp talked about how they're doing things well and they're doing them their own way.
We did this with no compromise in terms of what we believe. We still believe America is the leader of the free world, that the West is superior, that we have to fight for these values, that we should give American corporations and, most importantly, our government an unfair advantage. We've demonstrated in every area and arena of American life and international life that we do deliver an unfair advantage for our allies, our friends, and our compatriots. We have done this by creating a company where every single component is value accretive. There are almost no parasitic elements to this company. We have a small sales force. We have very little BS internally. We have a flat hierarchy. We have the most qualified, interesting people, heterodox in their beliefs. We have an orchestration engine that deploys for deployed engineers everywhere, a model that everyone despised and disdained until literally a quarter ago and thought would lead to a low multiple. Guess you were wrong.
Like I said, there's only one guy like this. It's Alex Karp. All right, what's it all mean? What's your big drill down earnings takeaway, and what's the one number that tells you a whole lot? Well, I got that for you. Palantir second quarter earnings. If you want to know one thing about the numbers here, they did over $1 billion in revenues in the quarter. And the bigger they are, the faster they grow at 48% growth rate really impressive. And I think the most important thing out of all of the highlights in the quarter, their total customer contract values out there, their customer count growing 43% on a year-over-year basis. But the one number that tells us a whole lot is 92%. Their US commercial business, selling into businesses in America, grew at 92% on a year-over-year basis, over $300 million in a quarter. Super impressive for Palantir. All right, subscribe to us, please. We want you to keep following us at Cory TV on X and at Drill Down Pod on Instagram, TikTok, and yes, on YouTube.